Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Okay, so I do not know whether you've been following some developments in the Enugu states lately. The terminal is one of the major construction, you would say. Many persons have said that these governments have not really done anything. Talking about the current administration of Pitamba, the government have not really started the construction and finished the construction. Road beautification and dualization that you are seeing are just basically what people have done, what governors in the past have done, and he's just recoating it, repainting and the likes, which is true to some extent. You would say, okay, the 260 smart schools. Not all of them are complete. There are some that are complete. There are some are not complete. At least the one in Owo, and this one that is complete. That's in the governor's village. So the PHPs too. That's the primary health centers. Are actually 260 of them also are not yet complete. There are a few of them that are actually on the 97%, phase of completion. But this is not this particular video is not basically about those projects. I'm talking about what the governor started from the scratch and what is about to finish, which is the bus terminal. There are four bus terminals that has been under construction since the administration took off. The Nsukka bus terminal, the Ogbete bus terminal, and of course the Garriki bus terminal. I think there are four of them at Abakpa bus terminal. So I remember the four of them. So um, for God's sake, the reason for the construction of those bus terminals, I mean, if there's anything that somebody would really appreciate is this particular bus terminal because it will help us decongest the amount of persons who go into Ogbete, who go into about those places to either shop or either use it as transit point. We know how difficult it is, even passing through Ababa on a very good day. And not just Ababa, all of those places that we have bus terminals. God help you, you are caught, say during evening time or even the morning time, the morning rush hour, or even in the afternoon, because I know I have tried to drive through that path going from my former office towards the prisons. Jesus Christ is Lord. I almost started swearing for myself. You can imagine the amount of persons I must have sworn on, trying to get through that particular path. And it was so difficult, it was so sudden. And I know one or two or three of you watching this video, or even all of you watching this video, must have, had that experience passing through that access. If you haven't had an experience in Abakpa, no, in Ogbete, you must have had an experience in Abakpa. Abakpa's own is world class closure. There's nothing you can tell me. Even Lagos is learning in that Ababa axis. You want to go through from town, linking Ababa, passing through Ababa Market into Nike to T Junction. Forget it. You're going to sleep there. Is it Garriki or is it Nsukka? We know how difficult those places are. So the construction of that bus terminal would afford everyone the opportunity to know where they're headed. We all know the problem. People park in places they're not supposed to park when they're dropping people going to the market or going to their shops or maybe using that as a transit point. And people selling right on the road, of those those areas, those four areas that has been mentioned. So with the construction of these latest bus terminals, at least we can tell everybody to, we know that these bus terminals have a location. Go in there and do your transaction or join your bus and move from there out. Nobody will be seen on the road. At least you will know that, we would have some sanity on that road, especially Abakpa, that is right in the middle of town. I'm not saying Garriki is not in town or Abakpa is not in town. These are two big places where people flock into every single day. And so having some sanity in that area would go a long way. Now, having said that, I just want to point your attention. For those who haven't seen that video, I'm sure you must have seen the video. I've been displaying it since I started talking. Now, I want to bring your minds back to what happened in 2024. This is 2025, right? In 2024, sometime in June. the APC chairman, Abakpa, had castigated this government. Now, I want to bring it out from this point. I want you to, watch this video. When the construction of that Abakpa, specifically not Abakpa now, Ogbete bus terminal was constructed, there was a press conference that was made by Abakpa. I don't know if you saw that video. If you haven't watched that video, I will play that video for you to watch. Now, that video, he called our station where I worked. He called us and he did a press conference stating that the governor was embarking on land grabbing because of these constructions. This is the reason for this video. This is all the things I spoke about. This is the main reason for this video, because I want us to open our minds. Because right now we're beginning to see numbers, people aligning and realigning, and the 2027 election is around the corner. Now, he made a press conference about the fact that this man is embarking on land grabbing, that he even likened it to Ebano family, that this is a kind of style that Ebano used to have when he went out demolishing things and then grabbing people's land, and when he grabs it, he says it's for the government, for the good of the people, and then he sells it to his cronies or gives it away or even takes it as his own. Now watch this video. I will be back afterwards.
Shopping complex with them. Mba is yet to construct any single public building in the state, yet he's busy destroying existing buildings and businesses constructed by individuals before he was born. Yet he has not fulfilled 5% of the electoral promises he made to Enugu State. Rather, he's busy obfuscating the state by going on this spree of destruction. We have always suspected that Peter Mba's government was an unmitigated disaster. But with recent development, it's now obvious to all doubting Thomases in Enugu that this government has no plans for the citizens of the state. However, we decided to make a press statement after 1 year of silence to inform the general public that Peter Mba has failed woefully and should account to the state for the over 470 billion naira that he has collected in a year. Where is this money? Where are the projects this money is supposed to be used for? The state owes it as a duty to know what has happened to this humongous revenue and what has it been used for within the 1 year of Peter Mba's bull in a China-ware government, where his achievement is engaging in sophistry, in casuistry and paralogism with intent to bamboozle the ignorant folks of Enugu State. What is called tax in Enugu State has become extortion of sorts under the present administration, ranging from land rent, property tax, cost of lifting a plot of land, sales tax, income tax, rates and levies. And the way government goes about collecting these taxes is brutal, including shutting down businesses that employ thousands of people in a very heartless and mean manner. However, a state of emergency that was made up to break our silence is the wanton, the unbridled, the callous and terrorist Gestapo-style destruction of private homes, private motor loading bays, over 100 warehouses, a burgeoning industrial cluster of over 200 palm kernel processing plants, which is the biggest supplier of PKO in the entire eastern region. 10 chemical producing companies that were built in the warehouses that were built in the 50s and 60s by UTC, by SUA, by Chris Chemist, by Maduka and Sons, by Imboemene family, by Farmho Associates, by Hodges Engineering Company, by Dizzy Oil Company. We will not fail to even know the banks that establish viable branches here like FCMB, EcoBank, transport companies that are doing very well on Isha South, Eastern Mass Transit, Chisco Mass, Romchi Mass Transit, and even banks like our Community Bank. And over 300 shops were completely destroyed. And the most painful of it is the destruction of Osisa Tech Polytechnic. the biggest and foremost polytechnic in Enugu State, in spite of the fact that the owner, Reverend Father Ede, was able to secure a court order stopping the demolition. The governor ignored that order. This is the only government that has no motherless babies home. The government has no orphanage. Yet orphanages, motherless babies that were built here in the 50s by Red Cross have been destroyed. It is alleged that no less than 10 persons died during the destruction of these properties because he came out, it was sudden. Even where people were still sleeping, their buildings were pulled down. We would want Nigerians to note that what is going on in Enugu State is another land grab scheme. Because when you look at the massiveness, you know that this is purely a land grab system. This was the same tactics used in land grabbing Ikenga hotels, WTC, IMT Rectors Village, the land zoned for Rangers Stadium, and even land meant for the conference hall, which was initiated by Samson Omera administration. These heritage sites, which Enugu inherited from Eastern Region government, belongs to all Igbos in Enugu State. Therefore, Igbos should rise up and protect their heritage sites. The problem we have had with PDP governors right from the start is that they destroyed the GRA in Enugu. Enugu State governors, past and present, and the only governors that when in office, they will forcefully take over people's land. It doesn't happen in Anambra. It doesn't happen in Ebonyi. It doesn't happen in Imo. It doesn't happen in Abia. It's only happening in Enugu. And no investor will invest in a state where this kind of demolition takes place so often. And in 1975, when the military administration wanted to rebuild main market, they gave the traders, they relocated the traders to what is known as Enugu Relief Market, now called New Market area. That market was established for displaced main market traders who went there to open a new market, and the rebuilding of main market started. And by 1982, it was completed, and those traders came back and we allocated their share. That's how a reasonable man runs a government, not through mean, callous ways. I've warned these people of Enugu State that those that have emotional attachment to Agberoism should not be in power. It's only an Agbero man that will enter government and he's thinking of motopark. We also call on all those whose businesses and properties were destroyed to seek redress and make sure they get commensurate compensation for their destroyed businesses. And we pledge to fully support them. The demolition of Holy Ghost Railway, Abara Avenue axis, Garriki, Abakpa Market, and Ogige Market has led to untold financial and psychological hardship on affected families, economic decline due to loss of revenue and jobs, deteriorating living conditions characterized by increased poverty, social unrest, increased crime and loss of goods and services. Governor Mba must not demolish other planned areas, parks and markets marked for demolition. We call on the Federal House of Reps. We call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the National Assembly, to invoke its powers to set up an investigative panel of inquiry to this land, to stop this land grabbing scheme and make sure commensurate compensation is paid to all the landowners whose properties were destroyed.
Now, fast forward 7 months after, because this happened in the month of June, July or so, I'm wondering what will be going through the mind of Ugochukwu Agbala right now when he passes through that place and sees this gigantic construction of these 4 bus terminals in Garriki, in Abakpa, and of course in Nsukka. I'm wondering what we'll be going through, especially with that one in Ogbete, because I know that he stood on that ground at Ogbete and said it's a vast land and the governor is trying to grab the land, and that he was going to pay, he's doing like his boss did, grabbing people's land and then selling it and then also building estates. Now, I want you to also look at how these things play. So imagine the amount of persons who have listened to this video, who have heard this video, who have broadcast this video to their friends, to their cronies, and running with the narrative that the governor is demolishing people's properties or demolishing shops, to grab the land. Imagine that. So imagine that this particular bus terminal has not been constructed up until now. I'm sure that by now everybody will be thinking, well, it's true afterwards. So I'm trying to bring forth sometimes the deceit, and right now this is not even being affiliated to any political party or affiliated to anybody. Sometimes people run to the press to push a narrative that may deceive people. This particular video was done 7 months ago. Was this place being destroyed? Yes, it was destroyed, but because it was destroyed because there needs to be a bus terminal. And people also receive compensation. Yes, there are some persons who would say, oh, well, they didn't receive compensation. But there are people who were verified and were paid compensation. Would I be here and tell you as everybody that got compensation? I don't know. I don't have the numbers. But people who were verified were paid to leave that location. People who were verified and they own those shops, who are bona fide owners of those locations. Because there are people who just come in and own a place because nobody is there. They own a place and they live there. They create a family there, and then when they live there for years, and the owners don't come, it feels like theirs. A friend of mine was even telling me a story recently. He was saying that the house that he built in Emene, he hasn't finished it, like still uncompleted, but roofed. That he went there one day, just came into town, stepped in there one day, and saw people living in his house. He was wondering, like, excuse me, is this not the house I built or something? Apparently, he went in there and I was asking them questions about who gave them the opportunity or the audacity to live in his house. And they were telling him that, oh, there were artisans who didn't know, who didn't have an accommodation, who didn't know that. Apparently, they decided they've been there for 2 years because he had not even come into Enugu for more than 3 years. So he came in and then he was asking them, and they begged and they said this is who they were, that they were just looking for a place to be at. They don't have any place, and this place was open. They came in and they decided to stay inside. These things happen. People just come in, claim a place, and they live for years, sometimes even 10 upwards of 15 years, and they claim that it's theirs. And okay, tell them to provide documents for those properties. They won't be able to. So it is possible that those people that were staying there who haven't received their compensation really didn't have, any story recently. He was saying that the house that he built in Emene, he hasn't finished it, like still uncompleted, but roofed. That he went there one day, just came into town, stepped in there one day, and saw people living in his house. He was wondering, like, excuse me, is this not the house I built or something? Apparently, he went in there and I was asking them questions about who gave them the opportunity or the audacity to live in his house. And they were telling him that, oh, there were artisans who didn't know, who didn't have an accommodation, who didn't know that. Apparently, they decided they've been there for 2 years because he had not even come into Enugu for more than 3 years. So he came in and then he was asking them, and they begged and they said this is who they were, that they were just looking for a place to be at. They don't have any place, and this place was open. They came in and they decided to stay inside. These things happen. People just come in, claim a place, and they live for years, sometimes even 10 upwards of 15 years, and they claim that it's theirs. And okay, tell them to provide documents for those properties. They won't be able to. So it is possible that those people that were staying there who haven't received their compensation really didn't have, any documents showing that they own that location. I don't know. This is just me because we interviewed people who say they have received payment for compensation for destroying their shops, destroying their homes, because they wanted to do certain construction that is for the benefit of the greater good of the people of Enugu. I mean, if you got compensation, you can go on to do something else. I mean, there are governments who would do that, destroy people's properties, destroy people's shops, and do nothing for you. They won't do anything. They'll tell you, go to hell, and when you go to court, you'll be in court for donkey years and nothing would happen. But, I mean, we've seen that play. I'm not saying that from the premise of, because I'm a media executive. I know these things. At least I interviewed a few persons who claim they've received compensation for their shops being demolished. So what am I trying to say in essence? That watch out for politicians who would use certain things, certain misdemeanor, create some kind of stare, throw it to you, and then because maybe it is showing that truly it is, because again, everybody will see that there was actually destruction happening. But then what happens after the destruction? There's always a way to skew a narrative to make you believe something that is wrong, to make you believe or make you antagonize people just because you're trying to score cheap political points. That's exactly what this video is about, really. So if you are not the kind of person who discern, who want for instance, double check, this information that has been thrown out, you fall prey for some of this cheap, skewed information that's giving by political actors. Political actors is what they are. I mean, if there's a way you can even skew it in a bit, you could call them political nolly actors, because they are Nollywood dramas. It's just that they don't really have, it's not scripted and well articulated like you would see and watch in Nollywood. Because they are just acting. You see the drama. See the English he was even speaking. You see the drama that he was trying to create, just because a government is trying to establish something for the greater good of the people, and he thought that, hey, that this is an opportunity to score a cheap political point. And truth be told, he scored those points because at that time there was this high rising noise. There was this huge noise in Enugu. This man is destroying things. He's trying to grab land. Opposition latched on it. And here we are, 7, 8 months after. We are 99%. Nsukka is 100% done. Ogbete is around 98% done. Garriki is also around 98% done. I mean, the next few days or weeks, that place will be open for business, and at least we would have some fresh air along those axes. At least people would not be stuck on traffic for hours for places that you would go to. I mean, Enugu is not a big place. Enugu, you can't say Enugu is so large to say you cannot get to every place around the 3 local government area that you could say are the highbrow area: Enugu North, South, and East. I mean, it's not a very big place. Within an hour or so, you can touch the metropolis. Yes, you can touch metropolis, and I don't see a reason why people would be stuck in traffic because you are going from one location to another. You're stuck in traffic for hours just because there's no proper bus terminal and people are selling on the road, and you have people who really don't care about other people's feelings or where they're headed to, and they get into that mix. So I don't know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. I really love to hear from you. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. Endeavor to like and subscribe to this channel for very fantastic content like this. Thank you.